massive deep dive into, well, a complete organizational reboot. And we're not just talking cosmetic changes here. This is really a strategic ground-up transformation. It's completely redefined a major online community. Our mission today is to really analyze the strategic shift announced by the founder, Ash Mufareh. I want to give you a single kind of unified overview of this whole process. We're tracking the transition from the legacy structure on passive into this new multi-phased approach involving Victory with Ash, or VWA, and then ultimately leading to, well, a still mysterious new business. And just for context, all this analysis comes straight from that comprehensive global live update on September 27th, 2025. That was the session guided by Susie McCrae, Jean Oliva, and Redfern.
Right. And this transition, it's being framed as, an essential response. It came after what the sources called a necessary legal and operational pause for on-passive. The move is explicitly being sold as a fundamental reset, a path towards something cleaner, legally sound, future-proof, something that can align with the really strict demands of today's digital world. What seems central to that session was just communicating clarity, surveying the existing base, introducing VWA as the crucial next step, and then detailing the, frankly, highly regimented mechanics of moving forward.
Okay, let's unpack that then.
Yeah.
Before even thinking about the future, Ash Mufareh clearly needed to know if the community was still, well, invested.
Yes.
And the data they got back.
Yeah.
It's quite a powerful opening statement about loyalty, isn't it? 2 global surveys were run just to test commitment.
That's absolutely right. The first one tested sort of general interest, and it came back with a massive 97% of members saying, yes, they still wanted to continue the journey. Now, that alone is pretty significant, you'd think.
Huge number.
But the second survey, that was really the measure of seriousness.
Exactly. That's the second one probed for actual readiness, commitment to this new structure. And apparently, nearly 100% of those respondents confirmed they were ready to move forward.
Yeah, near universal readiness. Ash interpreted this as, well, powerful validation for his long-term vision. It showed a passionate, loyal base was still there. However, and this is key, he argued that passion needed, sharp redirection, a complete behavioral reset, actually. And that meant tackling the legacy structure head on.
Right. And this brings us to one of the maybe the most significant point of the whole update, the firm, unambiguous status of on-passive itself. It's not reopening, but it's not completely disappearing either. How does that work?
Precision is really important here. Ash stated very clearly that on-passive is parked. It is explicitly not being relaunched or reopened in any commercial sense. The sources indicate its main function now is archival.
Archival.
Yeah, serving as the official historical record, and it remains active only for official communications to the member base.
Okay, so why keep it active at all if they're building this brand new company from scratch? Seems counterintuitive.
The key reason they cited was logistics and fairness. It stays active solely for the very limited purpose of resolving any remaining historically accrued commissions, which they mentioned was only about 1–2% of historical cases.
Ah, okay. So legacy cleanup.
Exactly. Once those loose threads are tied up, its active life is basically over. The founder was really unwavering on this point. We are not reopening or relaunching on passive. That chapter is definitively closed. So the new one can begin without, that legacy baggage. It's a very clean break, maybe abrupt, but clean.
That makes a resource decision really fascinating then. With the past parked, we shift immediately to the future bridge. Victory with Ash, VWA. Building a whole new business from scratch, new platform code, team structure, just to act as a bridge. That sounds like a massive undertaking. Was there context given on why that approach was strategically better than just cleaning up the old system?
Yes, absolutely. The emphasis was all on legal and technological, let's say, purity. By building something totally new, they achieve a complete separation from the legal history of the previous entity. He really stressed this. This is not on passive 2.0. This is something entirely new.
Yeah.
And VWA is that essential, legally clean transition tool. It's launching in October 2025 as a private, free membership platform, and it's referred to explicitly as a gift, intended only for qualified members who pass the new vetting.
A gift. Interesting framing. And right here, as we introduce this new platform, maybe we should pause on the name itself. Victory with Ash. What's the name itself telling us about the mission?
I think it communicates the whole cultural shift they're trying to enforce if you break it down. The victory part seems to be defined as overcoming the confusion, the dependency, the old culture of passivity that Ash clearly believes hindered the original project. And the with Ash part, that signals partnership, mentorship, actively moving away from a strict hierarchy or that old passive waiting game.
So VWA is much more than just a place to hang out and connect then. It sounds like a re-education camp almost, designed to hammer home that new culture.
Precisely. Its core purpose seems to be threefold. First, yes, to connect the requalified community. Second, and this seems most vital, to train members. Train them in crucial skills, mindset, personal branding, digital leadership, effective marketing. And third, to prepare them for active professional participation in whatever that full commercial venture turns out to be. The focus is absolutely on personal empowerment, self-driven growth, deliberately dismantling any leftover expectations of passive income.
Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting for me, this shift to extreme security and accountability. Given how sensitive launching a massive new venture is and the risks of IP leakage in any big global community, they're bringing in modern, really stringent verification systems. Why the need for such aggressive security, even for a private free platform?
Well, it's clearly about mitigating risk and ensuring genuine participation. This means mandatory third-party KYC, know your customer identity verification for every single member. And this isn't just about security theater, it's about proving that the person registering is who they say they are, and crucially, that they're only running one account.
One account per person. And the data protection side seems just as critical.
It absolutely is. They're prioritizing a fresh start, ensuring no on-passive data reuse for the VWA platform, privacy, data security rebuilt from zero. Furthermore, protecting the actual educational content within VWA that's being handled by an invisible tracking system.
Invisible tracking.
Yeah, this tech is designed to protect all the intellectual property, private sessions, documents, videos from any unauthorized copying, leaks, or piracy.
Wow, that invisible tracking system sounds serious. It really signals they expect and are ready to aggressively fight internal leaks.
How is that protection enforced legally, though? Through a strict professional code of conduct. And it was noted this is more rigorous than just a simple non-disclosure agreement, an NDA. This code implies much higher behavioral expectations. Any violations like copying or leaking materials will be handled swiftly and professionally by a dedicated legal team. It emphasizes serious, scalable enforcement, not, personal mediation by the founder anymore.
That definitely signals a dramatic cultural pivot towards professionalism, structure. And that pivot came with a really brutal, blunt cleanup message about multiple accounts, didn't it?
Oh, yes. That's the part that truly hammers home the end of the old era. The rule cited was incredibly strict. One account per person, clean and verified. This move is explicitly aimed at purging what were clearly seen as the unhealthy, multi-account structures of the past.
And the quote summarizing that cleanup was famously direct, wasn't it? If you had 50 or 80 accounts, adios.
Right.
That's a brutal ultimatum. How did the sources frame the severity of that cultural shift?
It was presented as necessary surgery, essentially. It's a clear statement. The new venture has absolutely no room for even the perception of manipulation or greed associated with multiple positions. It signals that only responsible, coachable, and self-driven members will proceed. The choice presented to members was basically boiled down to a binary ultimatum: play or pass. If you don't adhere to the new standards, you effectively self-select out. No arguments.
That cultural reset needed a memorable analogy, apparently. And the founder delivered one, likening this mandatory renewal process to a tunnel analogy.
Yes, the car wash tunnel analogy. The idea is that the entire community has to be filtered, cleansed, realigned by going through this process to come out clean, fresh, and ready for the beautiful dream. It's a powerful metaphor, really, for shedding the old baggage, the old expectations, the old confusion before you can enter the next phase.
Okay, moving from the mindset reset to the tech firepower. The sources mentioned a truly impressive, almost unprecedented technological claim. The 10,000 channel engine. I mean, that's a claim of massive scale. Was any assurance given that this technology is stable and scalable, not just, a theoretical promise?
Well, the sources presented it as a completed breakthrough system, specifically a new digital marketing engine. It apparently offers the capability to take a single central live broadcast or piece of marketing content and stream it to over 10,000 unique YouTube channels simultaneously.
10,000 simultaneously.
That's the claim. It's designed to drive enormous decentralized awareness and visibility, allowing thousands of members to connect their own channels and use officially approved content instantly.
And the funding structure behind this is also quite notable.
It is. The system is reportedly funded entirely by Ash himself. The explicit purpose given for this self-funding is to remove the need for external advertising costs and dependencies. It's meant to be a kind of closed-loop system for internal visibility generation. Now, while members might potentially earn visibility or maybe affiliate benefits through this, the warning was paramount. No income is guaranteed, it's potential, not a promise. Very clear distinction.
Okay, this high-stakes tech mechanism brings us right back to the mechanics of actually getting into VWA and, perhaps more importantly, forming the future leadership team.
Correct. Entry into VWA is structured as invite-only, via an application link. That link can be found in the existing on-passive ecosystem, the OES. But here's the massive incentive. For commitment and for speed. The first 10,000 members who successfully apply A&D past the stringent qualification and verification process, they will form what's being called the core group.
The core group, wow, okay, that's a huge deal. It's basically a first-mover advantage tied directly to adherence and verification speed, giving this sort of elite group the strategic lead in whatever the subsequent new commercial enterprise is.
Exactly. It makes that strict verification process not just a hurdle, but actually a race. Qualification hinges not just on being fast, but on successfully completing that mandatory third-party KYC and agreeing to the code of conduct. It sets a very clear precedent. The foundation of the new company will be composed of vetted, active, and prepared individuals. No exceptions.
Right, so let's try and tie this monumental journey together then. We've got these three distinct phases emerging. First, On and Passive is now parked. It's the archive, handling only historical cleanup. Done. Second, VWA is the necessary bridge and training platform, launching now, built totally from scratch for that cultural purification and professional education. And the final destination is the new business, name still TBD, spearheaded by that vetted core group of 10,000. And the entire philosophy sort of underpinning this massive reset, it was distilled into a very memorable ending, wasn't it? The parable of the bird in hand. The founder used this story where the wise man, asked if the bird is alive or dead, just replies, "It's in your hands."
Yeah, and the connection between that parable and this whole transition was made very explicit. It's a powerful message, really, that success moving forward depends entirely on each member's individual choices, their actions, their commitment, not on some centralized promise or the structure of the past anymore. And if we connect this just one last time to the bigger picture, the entire ethos of Victory with Ash seems to be about transitioning from dependency to genuine partnership. The final key message really summarized the conviction that success requires total unity, the need to unite for something better, be coachable, likable, followable, and the firm belief that, quote, it takes an army, not one leader. The leader presents the path, sure, but the army has to actually walk it. So this really raises an important question, I think, for you, the listener, to consider. Given this immense emphasis on individual responsibility, on self-drive, and that concluding statement, you can't make excuses and progress at the same time, what specific active behaviors beyond just doing the mandatory verification would you prioritize right now? If you wanted to ensure your rapid inclusion in that foundational core group leading this completely new, highly selective venture, that shift from passive waiting to proactive contribution, that really seems to be the one true measure of success in this new world they're building. Something to think about.